Hi there, fools, and welcome to Fool Live. I'm Des Jones, a fool on the editorial team, and I'm so excited to welcome Damian Peters, the founder of Wealth Noir. Damian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. A little small cold for my son, but surviving.
That's good. That's good to hear. So welcome, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So tell us more about yourself and the mission of Wealth Noir.
Yeah. So my name is Damian Peters. I founded Wealth Noir back in 2018, and our mission really is we focus on high income millennials, in particular African American millennials, and we're really focused on building wealth, so increasing net worth. Um, and the reason, I kind of started Wealth Noir and the story behind it was I was a product manager at Facebook. I was working there, enjoying my job. I found out I was having a child, and I decided I wanted to take a little bit of time off. I wanted to take a year off to be with my son. Everyone at work thought they were like, how can you afford this? And when I talked to people outside of work, they were also shocked. Um, my personal thought was, I was very well compensated. I had been investing in real estate at the time. So at this time, I had two rental properties. I had six figures in stocks, non like taxable on my own, in addition to the same in my retirement account. And I just felt that there were more people who were in this kind of income bracket. They had solved one problem, but they weren't building wealth and net worth, and they still felt kind of trapped or financially. So at Wealth Noir, we really focus on bringing content, services, programming that really focuses on helping people transform salary into net worth. We have a heavy emphasis on real estate investing and also for accredited investors.
That's awesome. That is amazing to know that there is something like Wealth Noir to help uplift the Black community. And of course, we're going to talk more about, the impacts of the Black community in financial literacy. So for starters, what is the racial wealth gap and why does it matter?
Yeah. The wealth gap, the racial wealth gap, I think everyone, or there's many different ways to define it or think about it. And the way I think about it really is when you tease out salary and other impacts, when you look at net worth between African American and and the majority races or the median net worth, you see a gap. So given that you're earning the same amount of money, we're not accumulating and building net worth at the same rate. For example, there was a study by the Institute of Policy Studies that showed at above $93,000, so given that you're earning more than $93,000, a Black family on average had about a white family had about 2.2 times more net worth, 320K versus 140K of Black families. And we see this pronounced in many different aspects. Where it impacts the ability for African American families to participate in the economy and in wealth building compared to our counterparts.
Wow. Yeah, the importance of generational wealth is very key in understanding that, there are different factors that come into that financial aspect of literacy. So my next question is, what can someone do, to build and earn wealth for themselves given the challenges they may face?
Yeah. So if we think about the wealth gap, right, there's two aspects that I think really show themselves and are pronounced. One is that you have an income gap. So on average, African Americans tend to earn less, and that's pronounced. So your ability to save and build net worth is going to be slowed because you fundamentally will be earning less and have less to save and contribute. And the second really big factor is generational wealth. So, unfortunately, we have just been oftentimes kept out of the economic and wealth building system for years through redlining, through certain discriminatory practices, and even at in certain points where being a wealthy African American was a risk. If you look at atrocities like Tulsa and other places, so that ability for my grandparents to have bought a home and then that to be given to my parents to have grown and appreciated, and then for that to pay for my college tuition is just something missing. And that is one of the huge contributors to the wealth gap. So when it comes to really beating the wealth gap, right, or trying to change things, there's a couple things that anyone can do. And it is the same way that everyone builds wealth, but it really is embracing them and utilizing them within our communities. So the first thing I always tell people is start investing, and start investing yesterday. Even if you're not good at it, even if you lose some money, your ability to invest and participate in the capital markets that build wealth is going to be the key to you being able to build wealth. If you don't invest in stocks, you will never see any benefits from stock investing. If you don't invest in real estate, you'll never see any benefits from real estate. And there's a slew of other types of investments. So I always say people, investing they call it personal finance for a reason. You should find out what you feel comfortable with. But I think there are a lot of reasons, and it's way easier. From your phone, you can be investing within minutes. The second thing is really just learning and understanding money. I still think it's a bit of atrocity that they don't teach more about personal finances in school. My undergrad was in economics and digital computer science, and then I went on and got a master's in business, and I learned a lot about how money works, debt, investing, rate of returns, things like that. And a lot of people that we talk to, a lot of people that we engage at Wealth Noir will be oftentimes making $250,000 or $500,000 per year and still don't understand some of the basics about investing in a retirement account versus non-retirement account, avoiding large tax bills by correctly allocating your money, or simple things like portfolio diversification so that they're not completely wiped out when there's one bad move in the market. Another thing too is to talk about money. I think this does hamper our communities more, but in general, a lot of people just aren't comfortable talking about what they're investing and not investing in. They don't want to talk about their salary. And I think this hurts us a lot. We don't understand how to price ourselves going into a new job. We don't understand how much people are saving and what they're investing in. We don't get excited about it. So I can have a 3-hour conversation about the draft picks for the Washington football team, but no one wants to go deep into Tesla versus some of the new entrants into the EV market, or overall what the economy is looking like as it pertains to the current health situation. And then last thing too is just kind of watch out for common traps and misguided information. And this goes back to learning and understanding money. Everyone wants to get rich quick. No one wants to work. The truth is, wealth building is typically slow and it's boring. I make most of my money is held in broad ETFs that cover the market, and they grow over time. I continue to put more money into them. I buy rental properties that I plan to hold for decades. It's not as sexy as making 100K in a day, doing options trading, but it's a more consistent plan and path. So by really investing in what's worked for people with wealth over the last decades, hundreds of years, that's what people should be thinking about as opposed to what they read on Instagram.